Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has shipped, has moved, has sold 1 million copies in the first couple of days of release. Now, we've seen in the first 24 hours, it topped out just about at 160,000 players, and well, over its initial weekend of release, now, you might see something. Normally, when it comes to peak player count, you see something like this in the Sunday evening with its highest numbers, so yeah, maybe we'll check in with this in the next couple of days, but yeah, the fact that it has a strong chance of getting over that 200,000, maybe even higher than that mark, 250,000. We'll see what happens, because generally speaking, there's a good word of mouth around this, and there was always going to be that case. And well, maybe the ceiling could have been a little bit higher if not for certain aspects of the controversy, which, as we've talked about before, I think a lot of it has been blown out of proportion, but some of the criticism is very well deserved, because bro, just shut your mouth. You're the director of a very successful game, one that'll very likely be one of the most successful games of the year. Just why don't you just take that W? But no, of course you can't, but we'll get to that in due time, because I want to get to the side that's just blowing this stuff out of proportion. Okay, like we got to get to the Bible thumping group, because okay, the conservative side of this stuff can never just take a W. They always just need to go ahead and appeal to their holy book. Oh, you're not being a strong enough adherent to the word, and you're not living your life the way that I think you should, therefore you're a sodomite and a degenerate. It's like, oh my god, what the hell are we doing out here? Okay, because we got Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 as one of the biggest insults to gamers and Christians of recent years. I mean, I watched a little bit of the gameplay, and honestly, it's like, it's not something that appeals to me. Way too much menuing. I'm not a big fan of the aesthetic. It's like, I like medieval fantasy and stuff like that, but it's just, it's not something that I'm going to pay full price of a game for. Okay, it's just, it doesn't appeal to me. I'm not saying that, it doesn't deserve to be out there. Obviously, I'm going to take a different approach to this. Big shock on that, okay? I'm not going to try to put my worldview, and I'm not going to try to moralize and grandstand off of this. If you like it, and that's fine, okay? For as far as I can tell, there's a lot of stuff that's in there. For the very small snippet of gameplay that I watched, you can basically go and get a sponge bath by some chick who's practically fallen out of her top. Not exactly the woke, subversive, degenerate, sodomite gameplay that a bunch of people are talking about. But as it's been community noted, it's like you kind of go, you got to go out of your way in order to do the gay stuff. So yeah, if you really want to go do the gay stuff, go for that, I guess. Otherwise, you could just, swing your sword and put your shield up. I don't know, man. You do whatever you want. It's an RPG. It's a role-playing game. You want to role-play a sheath? Go ahead and do that. You want to role-play a badass medieval warrior? Go ahead and do that. You do you, right? But yes, it's an insult to gamers and Christians. It's so funny how they're just trying to rope that together. Like, these are the tactics that we have seen on the other side of the political aisle for years now. It's just, there's just the zero self-awareness when it comes to people. Oh, as a non-binary furkin and gamer, this is a big insult now, just because they think that they have some legitimacy, because they also prescribe to an ideology. They think that they can call the shots. I don't think so. It was all about trying to subvert and always trying to be subversive and woke, promoting DEI and lying to gamers along the way. Oh, okay, cool. Where's your evidence? Because there's a thread. It's a pretty extensive thread. Honestly, it's just, I'm not convinced. I'm really not convinced. And yeah, as it's been pointed out, the situation is part of an optional quest in the game that is hundreds of hours long. Yes, it's a topic completely out of context. But no, it's totally fine. The first game, yes, was an indie darling. Yes, very much so, back in 2018. Even though Daniel Vavra was called racist for not including black people in Bohemia, he stood by his guns to create something everybody loved. Well, except for the other side of the aisle that wanted black people in it. He's like, no, we're making something historically accurate. Rumors began, yes, that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was banned in Saudi Arabia because of an unskippable gay scene, which in general, just didn't end up boring out. Like, it's an optional line of quests. If you want to go and be gay, you got to go do that. And none of it's unskippable. Like, that was laid bare to the world, and that has not been proven at all whatsoever. So, yeah, not exactly true that time around. Okay, even though he clearly added DEI elements to the game. He clearly did, guys. I don't need to cite it. He clearly added DEI elements to the game. Vavra positioned himself as the victim of the culture war on the right. I mean, yeah. with him saying, turns out that we are once again in the middle of a rather bizarre culture war, this time from the opposite side than usual. I mean, yeah, so here's a statement, but to spoil the plot of the game for the sake of it, yeah, it's a role-playing game. You could do whatever you want. That's the gist of the statement, and it's like, yeah, exactly. I agree with the sentiment, but we'll get back to Dan here at a later date. After this, yeah, gamers noticed the community manager placed a code of conduct on Steam. Yeah, community managers are real bad. We should probably go address those, but how long is that code of conduct up for, and how quickly was it changed? It also came out a community manager for Warhorse Studios posted saying that Henry wasn't a homo in the first game. It was only because of budgetary complaints, meaning they wanted to insert wokeness into the franchise originally. Just because gay equals woke. Jesus Christ. Vavra stepped in, and yeah, yo man, just doing some crazy shit as usual. Well, a number of games voiced that they didn't want to, or gamers wanted to voice that they didn't want to play the game because of a graphic homosexual scene. Is it really? Because here's the thing, I've only seen shots of this being, out of focus in the background, and yeah, dude on dude kiss. Well, I personally find it to be unsettling, not something that I look for in my media. Just trying to conflate it as being a cheek-slapping good time. I mean, you're kind of blowing this out of proportion, my guy. Vavra took to X to mock Christians using classic art of the Magi, falsely implying that it was homosexual. Oh my God! He's taking our imagery and putting it against us. He turned it against me. He's been running to the Access media, who are sweeping for the game and giving it high marks. Well, so are the players of the games. One of the 1 million players coming out and saying, yeah, we like it, game good. While boasting high initial numbers, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is already dropping like a rock. And yeah, this ends up getting, community noted. People sleep in the night. Yo, that's brutal. That is brutal. But yo, then you have people pointing out this Musa of Mali, who has been pointed out as being part of the emissary of one of the invading hordes or something like that, because you have an invading Islamic horde and he's one of the emissaries. Like I said, I don't know a lot about it. All I know is that Vavra has cleared this up. So yeah, he has a certain worldview. The people of Bohemia obviously have another, and he's out here talking, every creature is beautiful and noble, for Allah created them thus. That would be the way that he perceives the world. I'm just admiring his work. Okay, cool. So he might swing a certain way. Maybe he's talking about certain aesthetics. I don't know, man. I don't really care. But yeah, saying that's Wakanda, like you're out of your mind, man. But nothing's quite as brutal as Vavra coming through and posting the guy's criminal record. But speaking of Musa here, okay, here's the totally historically accurate friendly scholar Musa in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, giving some intellectual advice about the uncultured Christian society of the 15th century Bohemia as the main NPC. Oh, as a main NPC. Oh, okay, cool. Is this guy being elevated in rank in order to push certain narratives by certain people? Like, here's the thing, man. Like, John Delarose, he's pretty accurate when it comes to some things, and I've used the learning the law quite a few times when it comes to exposing other games. I think you guys are off the mark on this one. You're trying to see woke where it doesn't exist. He can't be killed. It's kind of like they're trying to tell a story, and if you kill off one of the main characters, they can't tell that story. But okay, and he knows laws, geography, chemistry, you name it. Maybe he's a scholar. Maybe he needs to be bookly for that. Maybe when he's in the rest of the town, people look at him sideways. That's also something that I've heard. Well, for example, my people people in my world are educated, not like in yours, and educated in the greatest wealth there is. So yeah, you know what that also sounds like? It's like a clashing of perspectives, like somebody's coming in saying, oh yeah, my people are great, yours are, well, there's a reason that we're coming in and trying to take some land. So it's strange, right? I kind of think this guy's getting misrepresented, and well, over the weekend, as more people play it and, get through this very large game, I'm sure we're going to see more examples. I'm just not really convinced that it's woke and full of DEI. But that's where we shift our focus to the less forgivable, the less easily explainable controversy side of this, and that's Daniel Vavra and his one-man crusade to tank this game, okay? Because holy Christ, man, shit that he's doing, just shut up. Shut up, your game is wildly successful. Why the fuck are you trying to tank its reputation? Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 director Daniel Vavra attacks critical review as Steam reportedly hides negative reactions to the game. That's interesting. Steam's normally a fairly level-headed place when it comes to this stuff. Despite its fair share of pre-launch controversy, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has debuted to an impressive success and decent review scores, drawing in over 160,000 concurrent players on Steam and maintaining strong reviews from critics and audiences alike. Even many of the anti-woke voices in the gaming space, such as Smash JT, have praised the game, brushing aside previous concerns over an optional same-sex romance options in favor of recognizing its strong RPG mechanics, narrative, and historical depth. I mean, one franchise that I can speak of specifically, like in Mass Effect, I don't think in the first, maybe in the first one, I can't quite remember or not. Maybe you could romance Caden, but now he's killed the dude off anyways. But in 2 and 3, I'm pretty sure if you got Dude Shepherd, you could go ahead and bone another dude. So, that have made Mass Effect woke. I'm sure probably if it came out during that time, there would be people who would say that unironically. But, hey man, to each their own, right? But while players seem to be celebrating the game's success, director, yes, Daniel Vavra, appears to be on a different path, turning his frustrations towards journalists and reviews that haven't been as favorable as he'd like. Yeah, we talked about one, giving it a 50%. Yeah, Games Hub writer, yes, a Jam Walker, yes, it is 50% on Metacritic. Oh my god, it puts that down. We no longer have a 90% Metacritic. Be proud of the excellent journalistic standards. Post immediately backfired with players, including those who actually enjoyed Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, calling him out for his unnecessary outbursts. User named Teary Boy responded, saying, bashing journalists for not giving you the score you want isn't a good look, and I love this game. Yeah, exactly. Another user, Enthusiasm, called for Vavra to focus on actual customer reception instead. Dude, this is not it. Obviously, you can be unhappy and you're not getting glowing review numbers, but this is silly. Focus on your actual customer reviews. You know, the ones that you didn't chase off. And that's the thing, man, because he's fucking unhinged, man. Like, this is the worst shit that you could possibly do. And I'm sort of rooting for the game. Like, if it's something that people want to play and it's fun to play, fantastic. It's not my cup of tea, but that's fine. Not everything has to appeal to me. I'm coming up on a birthday, but I'm not turning 7 where I think the entire world needs to revolve around me. But holy shit, like, this is another juvenile approach to the world, thinking that everybody has to love you for your product that you put out. But Vavra echoes Kelly Sudaconic. Ooh, that's not a good name to have in a sentence as a comparison to yourself. Yeah, saying don't buy the game, and that's not taken out of context. He literally did the thing. An ex-user, Miss Avayan, questioned Vavra rather, about the necessity of indulging a graphic depiction of sodomy. Yes, graphic depiction, right? Here's the screenshot. Okay, was this even necessary? Just pointing back to IGN's stupid guide, How to Romance Hans in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Yeah, exactly. One of the dumbest things that they could possibly do. We put a review up, and then how can you do the bumming? Great stuff. Great priorities over there at IGN. I wonder what the dislikes look like on that. Yeah, Brokeback Medieval Edition. Obviously, when you have more comments than likes on a YouTube video, not a good time. Not a good time, and especially if you're using mobile and you don't have a dislike extension, it's probably not looking good for you. And then you got Varv out there, don't buy the game. What are you doing? What the hell are you doing, dude? Stop it. Stop it. But it's interesting, right? Because Fandom Pulse points something out that I wasn't really aware of, because the first game, back in 2018, was made by, Warhorse Studios. Warhorse worked on the second one as well, but they were also acquired by Embracer Group, which is, they're kind of, well, not kind of, they are one of the worst parent companies a franchise studio anybody could associate themselves with. Okay, I've heard this before. Oh, he sold out. Warhorse Studios sold out, and then they went woke. And it's like, can you provide any examples? So they got the gay scene. It's like, yeah, okay, that's optional. But yeah, no, it's in the front too. It's like, okay, cool, you're drowning. You're struggling. You're really struggling out there. But looking at Embracer, I mean, yeah, shit's finally hitting the fan, right? Because they have so many gaming interests. They also have other ones as well. Like, they own quite a few rights to Lord of the Rings, Tomb Raider. They own a bunch of some Warhammer stuff. Like, they own a bunch. Okay, Embracer stock drops 44% hours before Kingdom Come Deliverance 2's launch. Yeah, while speculating on the connection between the two, maybe entertaining the arrival of Warhorse's sequel most likely has nothing to do with it. Over the past few hours, Swedish video games giant Embracer Group, owners of such studios as Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, Ghost Ship Games, Flying Wild Hog, and Warhorse Studios, has entered the spotlight after a sharp and, for many, unexpected stock decline following the opening of the Nasdaq Stockholm on Tuesday. The company's shares fell approximately 44%, dropping to 128 SEK after closing at 2:30 on Monday. But Vavra does clarify why exactly that was the case. The reason for Embracer's share price dropped was that the company split in two and the shareholders got Asmodee shares in addition to Embracer shares. In fact, the total value of the shares is up nearly 14% after the release of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And yeah, if you want to go ahead and add clarifications like that, that's fantastic stuff. That actually helps your game. That shows that it's a success. But when you're out there just spurging out for the world to see, just say, don't buy our game. You don't like our game. Don't buy our game. That's just retarded. Like, plain and simple. Like, you're sword fighting without a helmet on at that point. Yeah, man, it'll be interesting to see how many people play this game over the weekend, what the retention rate looks like in future weeks, because now we're starting to get into the point in time where more releases are coming out. Like, we got Avowed on the horizon, which is going to be, oh boy, that's going to be a fun one to look at. And then at the end of the month, you got Monster Hunter Wilds, and then in March we have Assassin's Creed Shadows. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It is really going to be interesting. So yeah, if you enjoy the game, that's fantastic stuff. If you want to avoid it because it's got the big K in it, well, you've probably already been turned off by this video because I've been trouncing all over your worldview. But if you're willing to see the other side of this equation, that's totally fine. But I think we can all get together on the point where, Dan, you're doing more damage to your game than good, okay? Just put down the phone, go touch grass, and revel in the success that you've created. Okay? Yeah, okay. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.